You think your Cavs win? I know you want them to win again, but you're more worried about who? Golden State, I suppose,
Yeah,
not the Celtics, right?
Oh, you still got to worry about the Celtics. I think the team that I was worried about the most because the Cavs struggled with them all year were the Bulls. And then when Rondo goes down, it was kind of over. He was he stirred the drink in the postseason. But
now, how do you feel when LeBron James or Kyrie Irving randomly decides, I don't feel like playing tomorrow night, I ain't playing?
They were winding down from the regular season. No. LeBron's not a young man anymore. You know that he takes a couple days off.
He's probably played more basketball games than anybody over the last 10 years.
Absolutely.
With all the playoff games and everything else. And I'll tell you, Craig and I were talking about this. I'm not a big fan of them taking off. I'm not.
Either am I.
Because people pay good money to watch him play and buy his stickers and all that other stuff.
Right.
They screwed the people in Memphis. But his 3-game run last year in the finals against the Golden State Warriors, it's got to be one of the great 3-game runs of all time, given what happened to him and how Draymond Green just completely upset that series.
Oh, they made a horrible mistake. You know, they poked the bear. Exactly don't poke the bear, man. You're making fun of the greatest player currently in the NBA. It just didn't work out for him. I mean, in his last 9 games, I think LeBron's averaging like 35, 10, and 8. I mean, the guy's
guy can do whatever he wants to do. So
he's an animal.
So tell me about Cleveland. Is Cleveland still a football town? I mean, even as bad as the Browns are,
as bad as the Browns are, I think most Clevelanders would give up an NBA championship and a World Series for a Super Bowl.
In a minute.
You know.
So it's a football town first, always has been.
Always.
Ohio is always a football state first, especially with Ohio State, the Bengals, and everything else. I know that I don't want to mention who this guy is because I don't want to put it out there on blast.
Oh, you're going to give out a secret?
But he's got a buddy that I know who's actually a great football player, ex-football player, who texted you when they took Myles Garrett number 1 overall.
Marion Motley?
Well, he just said, you know, when he watched his film, they would show the film on ESPN, and he goes, man, I'd be embarrassed if I saw that film.
Really?
So, and everything that you read about the guy coming up was that he has a low motor. So some people said he's hurt, some people said I have a question for you.
Yes.
So if someone has a low motor in college, everybody says, oh, Williams is one of the great motivators out of NFL defensive coordinators.
Right, okay, yeah, Greg Williams.
Could you motivate a guy that doesn't have a good motor? A 21-year-old man, shouldn't he be a self-starter at that point?
He should be a self-starter, so we never really know truly what the kid is like until he puts the uniform on in the pro game, because he's probably so gifted in college that he could just run past any tackle he's playing against. So now he'll be playing against real offensive tackles. He'll be going, I'm sure, against Joe Thomas every now and again in practice, and you'll find out pretty quickly as to whether or not the kid, who has talked a very good game here,
Very good. Yeah.
He's talked a very good game coming up to the draft, can truly be the next J.J. Watt, Jadeveon Clowney, that type of player for your team. I'll tell you, if they would have passed on him, I think that they would have been ridiculed
They
forever.
couldn't have done
it.
They had to pick him. But
unless it was a quarterback.
Here's what killed me. Like, they take Garrett, fine. Then at 12, they did it again. They trade down. Hooker's there. Now I'm an Ohio guy.
So the safety from Ohio State.
Oh, my God, Malik Hooker. And then down later in the draft, they trade up, and I'm thinking they're going to get Foster. So
Reuben Foster, the linebacker out of Alabama.
Well, so you are knee-deep in it, man.
Dude, so I was hoping Garrett, Hooker, Foster. And when I saw Hooker and Foster, I thought Ray Lewis, Ed Reed. As a guy that watched the Ravens all those years, I saw those two guys.
Well, that's a good point, because many people felt like Reuben Foster is the next Ray Lewis, but he fell because of some character issues and also some shoulder problems. So San Francisco gets him with the 31st pick. But you guys get your Bill Preppers, maybe the best, I would say, overall athlete.
Incredible athlete.
But the question is,
find a position.
You had an incredible athlete. His name was Terrell Pryor, and you lost him in free agency.
Unbelievable.
How much do you miss Johnny Manziel?
Dude, you know what? I'm one of the few. I cheered for him hard. And I think at the end of the day, you know, I got to meet him a couple times. He was a really nice guy. I think he was one of those guys, he had too many friends and couldn't say no to his friends, couldn't control his friends.
He's hit a lot in professional athletics.